What's going on, beautiful Facebook world? It is the being known as Shanice Star coming all up in your space, my space, our space to interrupt the Indeed programming taking place. Again, another day, Perceptions Live. Booyah! Alrighty, beautiful folks. So blessings to those of you who may possibly be live with me. Blessings to those of you who are going to be catching the replay. Right? Again, for those of you who haven't been tuning in, our focus is to come live here every single day to basically do what we do within our Perceptions Wine by Candlelight Dialogues, which is to build on perceptions, to give our perceptions on the perception, right? The objective is not for you to say, I think that's right, I think that's wrong. It's not for you to judge it. It's just for you to basically use a perception to spark thought within your own mind, within your own perceptions, to help you think about what you think about, to think how you're thinking about what you're thinking about, to think about what you're doing about what you're not thinking about. Right. So that is the purpose. So again, as usual, shout out to those of you who join us for our Perceptions Wine by Candlelight. Shout out to those of you who have invested in the book, which came out in 2014. Yeah, we are still keeping it alive because it never gets old. It's always relative. Continue to remember, reading is fundamental. Yeah, what we read is instrumental, right? Big difference, big difference. So really quickly, let me just see who might be available to chop it up with us. Shout out to those of you who are already here. I love you. I appreciate you. These are indeed exciting times. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Boop, 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 boop. I'm coming. Give me 1 second. Ooh. Vibrations. Oh, they're so dope. All right. Peace, Judy. Blessings unto you as well, sweetie. So for those of you who haven't been tuning in, I'm flipping the pages. I'm not looking, at least not consciously. I'm sure the way the mind works, some part of my mind is seeing. But right now, I'm not consciously looking. We're going to pick a perception. I'm going to read from it, build on it slightly, and then I'm out. Okay. I'm still here, beautiful ones. There's so much good stuff. Yes, Judy, it is a book. It's my book, Perceptions. For those who have the book out, even if you don't have the book out, I'm on page 312 and 313. This is good. It's all good, Judy. You're here now, sweetie. You're here now, and the lives from the past couple of days are up too. So I'm happy that you're here right now. Oh my gosh, there's so much goodies on these pages. I don't know if I can just pick just one. All right, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go because I don't know how to pick just one. I'm just gonna go. You can purchase it at ShaniceStar.com, Judy. ShaniceStar.com. I'll also drop the link down below, or if anyone that's on the live right now can drop my website, that would be super awesome. All right. Oh man, I gotta stop doing this when I have appointments because I be wanting to build with y'all. Alrighty. So this is what it says on my page 312. Shanice goes on to say, absolutely. Me accepting my self-identity and attaining a certain level of thinking, mental, spiritual, and emotional strength before, it's highlighted, it's in capital, before reconnecting with him did indeed play a role in how long I allowed myself to stay in such a toxic environment. You see, my story isn't that I didn't know who I was or my inabilities or having low self-esteem. It was actually the opposite. It was because I knew who I was, my abilities, and my strength that led me to think and believe that would be enough to heal a broken person. I was under the disillusion and misguided teachings that love was enough to make a relationship work. Some thought I stayed, mind you, the ill part of the relationship was only 4 months. I didn't need any longer. As I was saying, some thought I stayed because I was weak, when in actuality, it was because I was strong. I could handle it. I just got to a point when I no longer wanted to handle it. I could handle it. I just didn't want to handle it anymore. Right? So that's that perception, right? That's that perception. Oh my gosh. I don't even think I have the words to reread these. Yet, I'm going to reread it. I think it's important when you can still get high and excited about something you already created. That's a clue, hint, hint, for those in relationships and interactions. Are you still excited when you connect up with your boo? Are you still excited when you see your bestie? Right? Okay. Absolutely. Me accepting my self-identity and attaining a certain level of thinking, mental, spiritual, and emotional strength before reconnecting with him did indeed play a role in how long I allowed myself to stay in such a toxic environment. You see, my story isn't that I didn't know who I was or my inabilities or having low self-esteem. It was actually the opposite. It was because I knew who I was, my abilities, and my strength that led me to believe and think that would be enough to heal a broken person. I was under the disillusion and misguided teachings that love was enough to make a relationship work. Some thought I stayed. Mind you, the ill part of the relationship only lasted for 4 months. I didn't need any longer. Laugh out loud. As I was saying, some thought I stayed because I was weak, when actually I was strong. I could handle it. I just got to the point when I no longer wanted to handle it. So that's that perception, right? That's that perception. Next perception. It isn't just today, capitalized, that Shanice remains a bitter, free, and regretless woman. Time out. It isn't just today that Shanice remains a bitter, free, and regretless woman. She was that way. Got it. All right. That's why even when I do certain classes, I'm like, read out loud. It's different than when you read it, silently. So it isn't just today that Shanice remains a bitter, free, and regretless woman. She was that way even in the midst of her storm. As Shanice states, when one thinks about and properly assesses what they are doing while in the moment of doing it, they won't later question why they did what they did. When one has proper retrospect, they will have no regret. I have not one regret. All of the perceived pain and everywhere in between, I wouldn't rewrite not one thing. So that basically, so the first one again is talking about, people thinking that people are weak when sometimes they're very strong. It's kind of like when we talk about the views of suicide, where some people think the person was weak. And my perspective is I think they're pretty strong because it takes something to take your life, right? So just, again, perceptions, right? Not right or wrong, just perceptions. And with regards to being bitter free, like some people think, oh, you're that way now because you've been reading the books and you've been doing this and you've been doing that. And it's like, no. Even while I was going through perceived pain and feeling like my heart was ripped out of my throat and that they chewed it up and ate it in front of me, even then I wish them well. But you would have had to vibe with me during those times to know that it's not just afterwards, yet it was also in the moment. Alrighty. Other perceptions. There are just some things, some issues that others have in which you cannot assist them with. And guess what? You're not supposed to. That was a biggie for me to understand. Like, there are just some things that you can't assist people with. You're not supposed to walk with them during that. And you're not supposed to. As a community activist, dealing with people from a personal development level, that was such a big nugget for me to get. Because you end up fucking your own self up, being stressed out, overextended for people that you just can't really help at that level. Like, you can't, right? Some people you don't necessarily have to disconnect from. Yet disassociate indeed. That's another perception. Some people you don't have to disconnect from, yet you need to disassociate. Hence, you would have to understand the difference between disconnect and disassociate. That's also another perception. This is all from page 312. Toya always says it that the back of the book is juicier than the front. There is no need to speak ill of another who has spoken ill of you. There is no need to tarnish your character, which is in bold. There is no need to badmouth another, for their actions and life will do so on its own. You don't have to. You just gotta let life do what life does. That's another perception. All right, this is transparency, right? There was a point when I told him I'm not ready to let go. I'll repeat that. There was a point when I told him I'm not ready to let go. I cried and cried until I realized that I would always cry and continue to want to go without, because I was staying in the hopes of experiencing love with this person who didn't have love inside of him to share with me. There was a point when I told him I'm not ready to let go. I cried and cried until I realized that I would always cry and continue to want and go without. I would continue to want and go without, because I was staying in the hopes of experiencing love with this person who didn't have love inside of him to share with me. So again, remember the beauty of perceptions. And as I mentioned in the beginning of this book, there may be perceptions that I don't even agree with anymore, or that I may edit, later on down the line. And that's the beauty of perceptions. That's why, Shanice Star doesn't argue or debate, because it's all perceptions. No matter how many evidence you may have, it's still all perceptions, right? Later on, this helps people with understanding vibrations. How some people don't understand how someone could be loving and attract someone who's narcissistic. And people really don't understand vibes and tribes, right? So this perception can speak to that. Later on, after connecting all of the dots, hit my face, I realized why we reconnected in the first place. He was looking for someone to love him, and I was looking for someone that would allow me to love them. It was a perfect match for that moment in time. So some people, again, don't get it. Like, how do people add up together? Like, people always think that vibrations means because we think the same. No, it was a match because I was looking for someone that would allow me to love them, right? All the guys that I was dealing with prior to wouldn't allow me to love them. Like, they wouldn't allow it. He was in a space where he was looking for someone to love him. Everyone had, left him for dead, right? So he was looking for love. I was looking for someone that would allow me to love them. Hence our vibrations. Hence we were in the right frequencies. Yet the key is understanding it was for that time. That time. So again, a lot of people confuse vibes and tribes, thinking, why would someone continue to attract someone that beats them, for example, right? Not understanding vibrations, right? Not saying I want to be beat, right? But it could be another vibration that's vibrating with that person that feels they need to beat or dominate someone. I'm not sure if some of you catch that. But come to a Wine by Candlelight dialogue. Last one. I've learned that some people don't care whether or not the love or attention they are receiving is genuine, just as long as they are getting it. Starving and malnourished people will take what they can get as long as it satisfies the temporary hunger, even if what they are eating isn't healthy for them. I'll repeat that. I've learned that some people don't care whether or not the love or attention they are receiving is genuine, just as long as they are getting it. Starving and malnourished people will take what they can get as long as it satisfies the temporary hunger, even if what they are eating isn't healthy for them. Again, perceptions. It's not about agreeing with my perceptions. It's thinking of my perceptions and then thinking about your own perceptions about that perceptions, causing it to reflect causing you to reflect in your own life. So, for example, that last perception may have someone asking themselves, am I even loving my relationship? Am I even happy here? Right? You may hear it as in, at least he comes home at night. At least she does this. At least that, where it's like, they don't even care if it's genuine. I don't even care if you really mean it. I don't even care how you treat me all of the time as long as you treat me good some of the time. Right? So again, that was just from that perception. Like some people are just happy to get the attention. At least I got somebody to come home to. And it don't matter the treatment you're getting at home. So again, the purpose of perceptions, right, is not to agree. It's not even to label something as a good or bad perception or negative or positive perception. The key with perceptions is for it to trigger you to think about how you think about that particular perception, which would indeed cause you to reflect and think about your own life, your own situations, right? So again, perception just wasn't a book to write just to write because I had nothing else better to do. Right? It's deliberate to assist people with that beneath the surface thinking, to think about their sponsoring thoughts. People think about their thoughts, like, oh, I thought this, I thought that. But very few people go beyond that and think about the sponsoring thought, what led to that thought, and then thinking about that sponsoring thought, which deals with root work, beneath the surface development. All right. Thank you so much for those beautiful lights who have chosen to join me for another segment of Perceptions Live. Feel free to continue to build below on this particular live. I'm going to come back and check the comments. I can't do that at this moment right now because I have another obligation, if you will, beautiful people. Just the same, I love you and I appreciate you. You could have been doing anything while here on social media, yet you chose to chime in with me, the being known as Shanice Star. So I appreciate you redirecting your steps to share space and energy with me, and may you experience a super and amazing day if that's your choice. It's the being known as Shanice Star officially chiming out. Peace, love, and light.